It's a brand new counterattack as day one, session 2 comes to a close. All new episode coming up next. It's Diablo Alliance here joining us on the counterattack. Thank you for stopping by here as we wrap up session 2's day one, Greg Meskel here with you on the Counterattack Live at JO's, powered by Water Polo Nation. Jam-packed 8 p.m. show for you here tonight. We're here every day throughout the end of JO's, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. We're going to talk with a member of Diablo Alliance. Lexi Rao will join us. We'll also talk with the new head coach of a new program, Austin in Texas. Mark Lawrence will stop by, and the head coach of Harvard men's and women's water polo, 10 Minutes, will join us as well. So a lot going on here as day one, session 2 comes to a close. Let's take a look now at the scoreboard and spin through some of the scores here as we come to an end of day one. A lot of things happening here as teams start to separate themselves as we look at some of the early results here in the 10U Girls Championship. Hot start for Shore Aquatics, moving through a couple of their opponents. Vanguard likewise, scores still coming in on Vanguard and La Miranda. We go to 12U Girls, or rather not, we're going to have 10U Mixed. Pardon me, I keep forgetting that is part of this tournament here this time around. San Jose over the Skimmers. That's a great name for people in the pool. Stanford over Admiral 10-7. 805 just getting past Viper Pigeon Green. Rose Bowl a winner, among others. On to now 12U Girls Championship action here. Greenwich over Shore Aquatics 12-5. CMAC, a double-figure score against Sleepy Hollow, 14-10. Davis over CPD out of the Midwest, 9-7. On to the 14 and under championship now division. Empire 6-4 over Sleepy Hollow. Laguna Beach defeating Greenwich 10-3. Utah Premier American River, that was a close one, 11-10. And then redemption here for Chicago Park District. They get the win over Northwest, 7-5. On to 16 and under now. Royal 5-5-9. This is the Central Valley against Sacramento, 7-6. Utah Premier edging Shack there, 9-7. Stanford doubles up, 805B. And Diablo Alliance, we'll talk to members of their club soon. They get the win over Elite Water Polo, 9-4. 18 and under championship now. This is all day one action. Vanguard defeats Stanford 7-6. Commerce over Davis 13-7. And also Davis coming back with the win over Tualatin Hills 9-1. Capital all over Spartan 16-5. That's a look at some of the scores. All the scores are available at usawaterpolo.org. Head to the Junior Olympics section. That's where you get all the information on the world's largest water polo tournament. Find out everything you need to know, whether it's live streaming, photos, schedules, who's winning, who's losing, all that great stuff, taking you all through Sunday when we'll crown champions here at the Junior Olympics. As we mentioned, a lot of guests on the way. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll talk a little Diablo Alliance, a little JOs here at the Junior Olympics. Day one, session 2. We're back after this. You're watching live.
Cap 7 is the proud sponsor of USA Water Polo. Cap 7 is the best ball in the world.
Welcome back, Counterattack Live here at JO's, powered by Water Polo Nation. Greg Meskel here with you as we close out the first day of session 2, the girls' action, and now Lexi Rao here from Diablo Alliance. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So this is 18 and under competition. This is some of the most competitive water polo we'll see at JO's. You've been through this before. What excites you about taking part in this event?
Well, I always love getting better, and that's something that we can do because the competition, as you said, is so good. And playing at a high level and like preparing for anyone who wants to go to college water polo is really exciting, and having all the college coaches out here and stuff is also really exciting.
This is a a gauntlet, right? To get through this is 4 days of high-level water polo. You're playing a lot of games in a day, right? It's not just one game and then hanging back at the hotel. What sort of team is able to advance through all 4 days and get a medal? What has to be going on with that team? What skills do you need?
Well, we were talking about focus in our team meetings because that's something that we've been lacking, and we showed it today. Also, just like closeness among the team, knowing like what your teammates are going to do at certain times is what helps you get past like into the tired stages when that's all you have left to function.
As we see a couple of your teammates here, they've set up a little mini photo shoot as we're talking here. I want to ask you about the closeness of this group, right? We asked your coach, hey, who could come and talk to us, and immediately 10 people jumped up. It seems like you're all very good friends. Tell me about the kind of the bond of this team.
Yeah, so we've all been kind of playing together since we were like 10 or 12, and we've all been on the same team together. Like none of us have really switched clubs and stuff, and so that's definitely helped. And then we also all live in the same area, and we go to the same high schools and stuff, so we play together all year round. And like everyone's really loyal on our team. Again, like no one switches off. So
you talked about kind of the consistency and the focus, right? That's a thing you want to build on going into day 2, so on and so forth. Among the team, among the coaches, what will, and I ask this question a lot because I think it's interesting, what kind of defines success for this group? So after day 4, does it have to be a medal? What has to happen for everyone to feel good about JO's 2018?
Well, so something that we've been working on is, like you said, focus, because that's been our main goal, and we actually had one of our best players go down with mono right before the tournament, and so our goals kind of shifted from like doing super well at the tournament, which turned sort of unrealistic, just to like playing as a team and peaking at our in our last tournament of the summer.
So losing a key member of the team, that's tough going into the tournament and trying to kind of rally around this group. Your team, we have a few of them here, there's more inside. Give me a little scouting report of this Diablo Alliance team. When everything is clicking, everything's going well, the team's going to pick up a victory, what's happening in the pool?
Well, we have a really fast team, so we're counterattacking a lot.
Perfect. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
The counterattack, ready to sign.
Yeah. We also just, our passes get really good when we're playing together, and that could be attributed to the closeness of the team. And everyone's talking positively with each other, which just helps like propel support and makes everyone better. And then, yeah, so that helps our success.
This tournament is as big as it gets. You'll play teams from all over, maybe from the Northeast, the Southeast, you never know. You've been to it before, so it's commonplace to you, but for those that are unfamiliar with it, how would you describe it to somebody who maybe was going into it for the first time? What are they going to see over 4 days of water polo?
Well, you see people from all levels, people from all ages, people from all areas. Like we played a team from Ohio this morning, and that was actually really fun to play against them just because we play a lot of California teams. But like there's just so many people, and it also helps you realize like how much water polo actually goes on in the United States. Just really fun.
And you talk about those teams from outside of the U.S., outside of California. I think there's a nice thing about mutual respect going on here, right? So even if your team is able to beat that team from Ohio and it's a bit of a lopsided affair, we saw it in the boys session as well, there seems to be a real kind of water polo community vibe of everyone kind of supporting each other, even if there's a little bit of a lopsided result.
Yeah. And we also had, from this Ohio team actually, a girl came over for half the summer and played on our team.
Oh, nice.
And then she came back and we got to play her this morning. And so we were really close friends with that girl, and then we got to meet some of her teammates and stuff. And so it was really fun just to, and like, again, like you said, mutual respect with the water polo.
Excellent, very cool. So 3 more days to go. What's the outlook here for the rest of the way for Diablo? Kind of just break down your thoughts here on the rest of this tournament.
Well, we're hoping to win our next 2 games, but they're going to be a little hard. But we're a team that's been a fan of backdoors, so we've lost and then had to go 3 games in one day. And we've been able to do it a couple of years, so hopefully this is one of the years that we can do it.
All right, the only easy day was yesterday. Got to take the long way around here. Diablo Alliance, Lexi Rao, thanks so much for stopping by. We'll take a quick timeout. When we're back, we'll talk Austin, Texas, the college Austin in Texas with head coach Mark Lawrence. You're watching the Counterattack live at JO's, powered by Water Polo Nation.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
And we welcome you back to the Counterattack Live at JO's, powered by Water Polo Nation. Again, thanks to Diablo Alliance for stopping by. 10 minutes from Harvard to come. But now we talk with not a new guy on the block, but a new program on the block. Mark Lawrence joining us here from Austin College in Texas. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
So this is your first, not first JO's, but first wearing the Ruse water polo gear. Congratulations on the new program. Tell us about this team and what people can expect for the first varsity season coming up this fall.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually had a great year out on the road recruiting, building network connections and meeting people in Texas. And we have a large group coming in. So we're going to welcome 35 athletes to Austin College next year. Almost every single one is an underclassman. Most of those all freshmen. So we have a great group of athletes coming in. It's really going to be a gain experience, an education through playing, but a great group of athletes, great group of character, coached up by great youth coaches in Texas.
And so we know that there's a big challenge starting a program up from kind of the beginning. When you get that assignment and you get that job, and I know you're excited about it, where do you go first, right? You're trying to get the word out about the program, you're trying to recruit. What was kind of the first task at hand, and then how'd you build from there?
For sure. So we really had two goals that we wanted to do right away. First thing was to get out in Texas and meet the coaches, meet the kids, meet the families, and really put ourselves out there. So we used social media. We went to practices, to scrimmages as much as possible, and really put ourselves out there for people to see who we are and learn who we are. And secondly, we really were looking for high character kids who could come in that we knew would be a part of the program for 2, 3, 4 years, depending on what age they were. And we gravitated towards that to build our culture first. That way we could improve every single year and have the culture be the strongest part and be good role models for younger players in Texas and other schools, hopefully, to add.
If you've looked around JO's Session 1, you saw a lot of club teams from Texas. It seems as if the Thunder team, the Viper Pigeons, are bringing more and more kids every year. I follow the Twitter and see all the announcements about kids on their way to Austin. A lot of Texas kids. It seems as if there was a void there of Texas kids that played water polo that wanted to stay in state and play college water polo, and you've come along at a very good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel really, really lucky and fortunate because I went to Texas and I had experience with some Texas athletes at various schools, and they were always phenomenal kids, and I knew they were well coached. And I was amazed with how many great athletes and how many great youth coaches there are in Texas, and just a lot of awesome kids that just need the opportunity to play.
And what I like about this program too is that you're going to jump into some competitive games here right out of the gate. You're not scheduling what you call a cupcake schedule out the door. Of course, you're in the MPSF, so you know that's coming at the end of the year. That's going to be a huge challenge. But we know you've got Brown on the schedule. You've got some other things in the pipeline. Why was that important, and how will that help benefit the program?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm really fortunate to have worked at some really great schools and for some really great coaches like Felix at Brown. I competed versus Harvard for 4 or 5 years and saw them firsthand and have a lot of respect for what they do. So we wanted to schedule a lot of programs that I have a lot of respect for that are also high academic schools, as Austin College is. Not saying we're equal to them, but we're similar, or we're closer than not.
Sure.
And so I really want my athletes to see and compete against programs that have really high character athletes that have a high value on academics, and see how great those programs are, and kind of use my time at Brown as the example of what we want to build.
So we look at the schedule here, and I have to ask you about the MPSF, right? People
Sure,
look at that and say, that's going to be a challenge, right? And I think you look at the geography, right, and you were going to have to travel any way you slice it for postseason play, given you're the only varsity team in Texas. But why did that conference, why was that the right move for Austin, and kind of what's your thought going into that, knowing it's taking on some of the best?
For sure, and it was a really difficult decision to make, much harder than I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
But the big reason is we're so geographically isolated, and And one of the goals of our program is to also build a great student-athlete experience to hopefully inspire other programs in Texas to add. And joining the MPSF gives a great level of flexibility where we could play more D3 schools with that option than we could with the other options that we had. And also being able to travel west a little bit more than east was easier for the budget since we have to travel so much. So again, we understand the uphill battle that we have in that conference. But we're going to expose a lot of great young athletes to the best water polo in the nation, and also compete against some phenomenal teams outside that conference, and hopefully inspire them and want them to commit and really buy in.
And we know right now it's just the postseason, but if a couple of years down the road it ends up where you have a UCLA or USC coming to your place in Texas,
sure.
that'll be a pretty cool setup.
Sure.
So we look down the road now, kind of a 5-year goal.
Yep.
As you move forward, where do you hope this thing is? I imagine continuing to recruit Texas, a competitive level. Where do you see things going in a perfect world?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Texas is an absolute sleeping giant, whether it's us at the D3 level or future D1 level. And in 5 years, what I really hope we have done is not only build competitive programs, but also inspired other programs in Texas and in our region to add water polo. So we have a goal that hopefully 5-6 years, we're going to see 4 or 5 more D3 schools, a couple D1 schools, and hopefully everything we could do is going to inspire them to add. As far as us specifically, we just want to get better every year and really build a core foundation, with the majority being Texas kids. Not 100%, but we really want to build with the athletes and give them the opportunity in Texas.
Excellent. Mark Lawrence, Austin Ruse, good luck.
Thank you very much,
season.
sir.
Great to have you here on the program. We got some clubs around the way here. All right. Hey, how are you doing? We appreciate everyone stopping by. More Diablo Alliance, little brown water polo. Excellent. We will take another timeout. When we return, 10 minutes from Harvard joins us. You're watching the Counterattack live at the JOs, powered by Water Polo Nation.
Cap 7 is the proud sponsor of USA Water Polo. Cap 7 is the best ball in the world.
And welcome back to the Counterattack live at JO's powered by Water Polo Nation. We've had a great lineup of guests tonight, and we keep it rolling. 10 minutes here from Harvard.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by. You're back in your old stomping grounds, a familiar guy here, right? The home area, San Jose, the Stanford area, but of course with the Harvard Crimson, where it seems like every year you take a new step with Harvard, and you're able to really push that program forward. What's been the cause of that positive momentum?
I think we had some success early on, about 4 or 5 years ago, and kids are really understanding that there's an opportunity to play on the East Coast, and we've gotten a few of these players to come out, and it's been a lot of fun watching this thing grow.
And you're here at Junior Olympics. This is where all the college coaches show up, right? Yeah. And I remember you telling the story about getting the Harvard job, and before you ever set foot in Cambridge, you said, send me a bunch of Harvard gear. I'm going to JOs. I want to be a walking billboard. Why is it important to be here and be seen?
I think the first thing was because, like we talked about earlier, like no one really understood there was water polo at Harvard. And so I wanted people to know, like, hey, we're here. Like, we have water polo. And so I think that recognition, like you see now college coaches walking, people jumping behind us like the Marist coach right now. So you want to be seen so everyone kind of understands that that's an option. And, where is that university? Where can I play? And it's a lot of fun to just wear my stuff and be out here and be recognized.
So many kids come to JOs with different goals, I think, right? Some are looking to get better, some are looking to try and win a championship, and of course many at that older age range, right? They're trying to get into college, trying to impress people like yourself.
Right.
not looking at anyone in particular, but when you're sitting out at a game and all the coaches are watching, what are you looking for in a player? So for the kids that are watching, they're saying, I'm going to JOs, how do I make myself appealing to a college program?
Yeah, I think first thing I'm always looking at is like, what is this, how are they dealing with adversity?
Sure.
How are they dealing with their teammates, with feedback? How are they doing the little things on defense? I love watching the defense as a former goalie and everything, when they're on the bench, are they cheering for their teammates? All those kind of things. You're kind of watching the whole thing. It's not all about just scoring the goals. Like I like the pass, who's feeding the ball to them and stuff like that. So we're kind of all out there looking at everything, watching what they're doing and how they're reacting, body language and everything. It's a holistic process.
And you're no stranger to the Junior Olympics, right? We talked about you being back in this area. You were heavily involved in the club scene, right, years ago.
Yeah, here.
Right here at Stanford, right? How did that experience kind of shape the way you coach water polo and then lead to what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, first, I think this is the hardest tournament in the world to win. I got third twice, and those are some of the biggest accomplishments I still feel like in my career. I think being here at JOs is just an amazing experience, and being able to have to deal with these quick turnarounds. And like back in the day, you could play 10, 11 games just to get through the back door to get to the semis. And so you learn how to scout quick, you learn how to talk to your players and give them a scouting report. And in the East Coast of the CWPA, we'll play 4 games in a weekend, no problem. And so preparation is like preparing for a JOs game all the time.
So we got a shopper coming in hot overhead here at Stanford. You're watching the Counterattack live here at JOs, 10 minutes here from Harvard, talking with us, and things kind of wrapping up here on day one as we move towards the rest of this tournament. So we look towards the fall, right? You'll obviously get into men's season first, and then women on the way. Expectations for your team, how are you feeling about what we're going to see come September?
Yeah, I'm really excited for our men's season. We bring back a really good core. We bring back our leading scorer in Dennis Blyashov and our second leading scorer in Austin Seacrest.
Sure.
And I think we've just really learned a lot over the last 3 years, and it's probably going to be the hardest season that we've ever had. I don't think we're going to sneak up on anybody. I think everybody kind of knows who we are, and so I'm excited. The guys have been training hard. They're texting with them, and they're all in shape and ready to go on August 18th. And that first test set, make sure they're in shape and get after it when we get to Brown on September 2nd.
When you've had some of that success, right, and you've made the NCAAs and you've won a game and you've started to advance there, how do you flip that switch? I think this is a question for a lot of coaches, right? But how do you make that move to saying, well, we're not just happy anymore to get to the NCAAs. Now it's about, of course, we're getting there.
Yeah.
How do we advance?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just getting some confidence, first of all, and then playing some real high-level games. Our first 10 games are against some of the top teams in the country. I think that's going to help us get better. I think our first year when we got to the Final Four, we got blitzed by SC, and they still beat us pretty well last year, but I think we felt better. We felt more confident. We weren't quite as like, oh my gosh, that's USC. It was like, okay, it's USC, and we're going to fight. And so I think getting that confidence really helps you along the way.
Excellent. 10 minutes, Harvard, men's and women's water polo. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks
Appreciate
for having
you
me, man.
stopping by.
Love what you do. You know that.
Thank you. I
You're a
appreciate
great
it.
ambassador for our sport.
Always get to chat with you. Hey, we got more coming here on the Counterattack Live at JOs, powered by Water Polo Nation. Who do we have over here? We got Set Water Polo? Set. All right, Orange County Set Water Polo is in the building on the fan cam. You can come by and join our fan cam here whenever you like for our live episodes. We're back with more after this right here live at Stanford. Stay with us.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with splash ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. The fan cam, Diablo is back. They are excited. UCLA in the front there going secretive. The dab is alive and well. Dab on them. Counterattack live here at Junior Olympics, powered by Water Polo Nation. So great to have Diablo Alliance here with us. Thanks to Mark Lawrence from Austin. Thanks to Ted Minnis from Harvard. Don't forget, tomorrow we're back here at 2 p.m. Pacific time. We'll talk with Team USA's Jamie Nuschel. She's won a whole bunch of Junior Olympic gold medals. And we'll also talk with our good friends from Sisu, the mouthguard company. That's coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Now we have our social media send-off. It's the best of water polo on the internet. Use the hashtag counterattack and 2018 JOs. Let's jump into our first post here on the social media send-off. And we start first, our good friends from NBC Bay Area were here talking with 680 and Stanford. This aired tonight on the local news here in the Bay Area. From there we go to Davis Water Polo. Not too far from here, from their Instagram account, Davis12U, enjoying their Junior Olympics experience. And from there, Ashley Johnson joined us on our 2 p.m. show. Got to hang out with Gloria here from La Marinda. Ashley is an Olympic champion, one of the best goalies in the world. And then last but not least, our official photographer, KLC Photos. That kid is the little kid in the ad. This is his first Junior Olympics. So cool to see this here. Thanks to Catherine Hain for that picture. That's the best of what we saw on social media this week. Now we're going to leave you with a very, very cool video. This is a look back at session 1. Jonathan Joey put together an excellent video. It'll get you fired up for your next water polo game. That's all for this episode. Thanks so much for joining us. And don't forget, when you're on the counterattack, look weak side.
Got my own monster, nobody but me. I would never call him enemy. He's the bad God on me, loosen my boundaries, setting me free. All my dreams he speak to me. He's the bad God on me. He's the bad God I need. Monster. He's the bad God I need. I got my own monster. He's the bad God I need. Monster. He's the bad God I need. I got my own monster. He's the bad God I need. Got my own angel, nobody but me. I would never call her enemy. She's the good God on me, holding me back, yeah, just when I need. And I don't dream she's teaching me. She's the good God on me, angel. She's the good God I need. I got my own angel. She's the good God I need. Angel. She's the good God I need. I got my own angel. She's the good God I need. but both of the sides fighting me. So angel, monster, bye bye.